Welcome to the American Small Business League podcast. I am Bruce DeTorres, and with me is Bernard Taylor, running for the House in 2026 in Florida's 21st District. Bernard is an EMT paramedic and a community advocate, and he's running for affordable health care, stronger education, and economic stability, and more. And his website for info is bernardtaylorforcongress.org. Thank you very much for joining me today, Bernard. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure indeed. Let's start by talking about you and your campaign. What motivated you? What's your background? What do you hope to accomplish for your district and for Florida and for the nation?
Well, I'm a native Floridian. I was born down in Miami. I moved up to the Treasure Coast area here in Florida, District 21, when I was a teenager. This is my home. My manhood pretty much was born and raised here. This is where I became who I am as a person. I currently now serve my community as a firefighter paramedic. And the thing that motivated me is seeing the struggles in my community and the things that everyday people have to deal with that aren't being addressed, whether that's adequate health care, whether that's not being able to afford rent, property insurance, having the ability to even purchase a home in our district, the environmental issues that this district faces, being that our waterways are very vital to our economic stability here, and the pollution that we get that comes down from Lake Okeechobee is detrimental to the things that we try to accomplish here in our as far as our economic values are concerned. So again, just being in the community, seeing the everyday struggles of my fellow Americans, knowing that the current representation we have right now isn't really looking out for them, but more so looking out for special interests and things of that nature. And I figured it's time for someone like myself, who is a man of character and integrity, that really wants to look out for the people, to throw his name in the ring and see what happens.
Nice. It sounds like you're running against an incumbent, right?
Like, yes, sir. I'm running against a 9-year incumbent.
9 year. Okay. Okay. And how would you describe I don't know if it's a man or a woman. They're kind of falling short on the job. What are the major things that how you would describe that?
So again, it's just service of the people. The Treasure Coast here, we have a very diverse population. We have people from all different backgrounds, and a lot of the concerns of us everyday average Americans aren't really being met. Like I say, our affordability crisis here in Florida is one of the top in the nation, and there's nothing being done on a local, state, or federal level to help ease the pain for the average American citizen here. Most people that live in this county come from other places, because this county is literally affordable compared to other places like in Palm Beach County, where it's the southern part of my district. As a firefighter in that part of the district, most of my fellow coworkers, we can't afford to live in that part of the district. We have to move out of the district, and we are public servants. But that just lets you know how the cost of living is even for us. And I feel bad for the younger guys in my industry that are coming up, because they're having trouble. And I hear these conversations every day, just even, affording their rent and being able to afford a home, which is, the basis of the American dream. Everybody wants to be a homeowner. So
Hmm.
right now, to see my fellow firefighters and my fellow people not even being able to achieve that dream. And then we're not even talking about the senior population here, who depends on Medicaid and Social Security, and these social safety nets that help them just get by, not even get ahead, just help them get by and survive and be able to, have some quality of life. And the fact that these programs are being attacked and possibly being cut is it's extremely heartbreaking to me, because again, I don't get to be detached from these my community. Like every third day, I'm in the back of my ambulance, and I'm going to these homes. I'm going to these nursing homes. I'm going to these people in the community, and I'm seeing their struggles. And they're talking to me about the things that affect them. And it's hard to be detached when, like I said, you are in it. Most of our politicians and people that serve us, they're very detached from the everyday average American. They don't, I one of the funniest things to me is when you hear them talking about some prices are down. I say, I can tell you don't go to the grocery store, because the places I shop, I don't know where you shop at, but places I shop, I don't see prices down and things of that nature. So again, just tired of seeing the people that represent us not represent us, and wanting to be that person that actually does.
Nice. And for our audience, I sent you our letter describing our concerns about the federal contract dollars that should be going to small businesses,
Yes.
that need to be going to women-owned small businesses.
Mhm.
And you had a very positive reply about that. Why don't you tell me all you can about that, please?
Well, again, I was raised by women. Like the majority of my family is women, so I know how smart women are. I know how capable women are. I know what happens when women are put in leadership roles, the things that can be accomplished, and the fact that there aren't as many women-owned small businesses, they're not getting those federal contract dollars to be able to start those small businesses is atrocious to me. And like I said, I truly believe that if more women were allowed to be in charge of a lot more things, we would probably be more stable as a society and as a country. So it is my job and my goal that when elected to be able to do the best I can to make sure that women are given just as much as a fair shot as a man, especially when it comes to these small business grants and loans. Because again, I know the power of women and what they can do when they have leadership and they put their minds to it. So it makes no sense to me that they are, struggling to get these grants and loans for their small businesses.
Right, and just to be clear, I wrote you about the federal contracts, not grants, not loans, but that is also a challenge for women. And I just want to talk about that for a minute to get our
Yes.
audience up to speed. We have a project called Don't Cheat Women, and there's a website, don'tcheatwomen.com, no apostrophe. And like I wrote you, Bernard, women are half the population.
Yes.
They own 40% of all businesses in America. Many people don't know that,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
they get less than 5% of federal contract dollars. They're supposed to get 5%. We think that's a horribly low number. We think it's even worse that because of games that are played and outright fraud, they almost never get that 5% goal.
Right.
And we made an argument to you, and we make the argument publicly that the amount that's supposed to go to women needs to be raised from 5% to 15%. And right there, that would raise from 23% to 33% the amount of federal contract dollars that are supposed to go to America's small businesses.
Mhm.
And people can read all about that on our site, ASBL.com, for the American Small Business League. And I want to remind you something I wrote you, Bernard, and then get and really talk about it. We're accusing the SBA and the federal government of basically perpetrating a little bit of a fraud. Every single year, the SBA, which has responsibility, says we met that 23% small business goal. In fact, we exceeded it. That's typical. But on our site, we show the reasons why and the investigations why, and our legal battles that have also shown why and how that number is a fudge. That number is a bit of a fraud, and that in reality, legitimate small businesses really only get around 3 or 4% of federal contracts every single year. And a tiny piece of that goes to the women owned businesses. So if anybody searches this to confirm this, they're going to find the official story, which I'm going to say is the official lie, unless you find material about the American Small Business League and our founder Lloyd Chapman, who's been fighting this battle for 35, 40 years practically. So that's my challenge to you, Bernard, is to I don't think it's going to happen in one conversation or in one email, but to
Right.
dig into the kind of evidence that I sent you,
Yes.
have an open mind to consider, wow, is that true? And when you see enough documentation or we have enough conversations where you get persuaded to talk about this publicly and to put your campaign on the line and to bring it into your campaign, here's the benefit. For every 1% increase in contracts to small businesses, 100,000 jobs get created. That's per
That is
the
crazy.
2010 chair of the Senate Small Business Committee said that. So that means if the amount to women gets raised and 33% of all federal contract dollars, 33% of $800 billion in procurement $264 billion. If it actually went to legitimate small businesses, it would create an economic boom of epic proportions. Debt free, deficit neutral, no new taxes. And those small businesses would create 3.3 million new jobs on top of the 2 million jobs that America typically creates every single year.
Wow.
So, what would that do for your district? What would that do for your
That would
community?
do amazing for the entire country, man. It's not even just my district because again, that is truly amazing when you look at it that way and you bring those numbers to my attention because again, we get so stepped over as the little guys in this country that are just trying to get our piece of the American dream, even when it comes to starting a small business, especially for women. You have hurdles starting a small business, and there's even a bigger hurdle trying to start a small business as a woman. So we can actually get the numbers to be true to what they're supposed to be and actually raise that from 5 to 10%. Because again, especially in an area like this where this city is actually experiencing tremendous growth here in Port St. Lucie. I was at a city council meeting yesterday, and the amount of growth that they're expecting over the next 10 years is mind blowing to me. Especially, I used to grow up here, and these roads was nothing but dirt roads and hills that we used to jump on back when I was a kid. So the fact that a place like this is experiencing such a population boom, if we can get grants for small businesses in this area and actually have fair representation for women on small business in this area, like you said, the amount of job growth and the amount of job creation, not to mention the amount of money that gets stimulate this economy, would be tremendous. So that is definitely something I want to continue to keep looking into because again, my whole point of running for Congress is to continue to look out for us, the small business owners, the everyday average American that is trying to get ahead. So that is amazing.
What a little bit more about you, Bernard? What led you to become paramedic? You say fireman. What brought you to this work?
Oh, public service, man. I've always grown up wanting to help others. The greatest amount of joy I feel is when others around me are doing well. When people around me are doing great. I don't know. That's just how my character is in me. I like when other people around me are doing well, and I can do what I can to make sure they're doing well. So, to be a public servant, to be there when someone is at their worst. Anytime someone calls 911, it's not just to say, hey, how you doing? They're experiencing an emergency, and to be that person that they can depend on to help them through that trying point in their time and actually come out with a positive outcome is extremely valuable to me and then to the community. So again, I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to do this for about 6 years now, and God willing, I got many, 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 many more years ahead of me.
Indeed, except for a detour for your new congressional career.
Yes, 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 yes.
We've got, fingers crossed. Besides steering people to your website, what other message would you have for people to learn about you, or is it just that basic?
Basically, again, I just want people to understand that I am for the people. I know we've been playing this game of politics and we've been under such a constant stream of political discourse and the status quo of what politics have been for over 100 years. Right? And I really
Hmm.
want people to understand that the reason we don't feel represented, the reason we don't feel seen is because the people that represent us don't actually represent us. We have 535 people that represent us between the Senate and the House of Representatives, and 11 or 12 of them actually come from a blue collar working class background that can relate to the everyday struggles of the average American. The rest of those come from the top earners in this country, and that's who they look out for, the top earners of this country. If we have more of a representative legislature that actually looks like and feels like and knows the struggles of the everyday American, I truly believe we can progress and actually live up to the dream that this country is supposed to be. So you can always go to my website to learn a bit more about me and some of the policies that I would love to implement if elected, or let's say when elected. We're going to speak it into existence when elected. And then also, again, if you ever have any questions about my character or my integrity, I always tell people, just know that every third day of my life, I sacrifice, my wife sacrifice, and my kids sacrifice the possibility of my wife not having a husband anymore and my children not having a father anymore in order to do good for the community. That's what my integrity and my character lies. I'm always going to be the person that's doing what is right for the people.
Bernard, most impressive. Do you have any other points you want to make or any questions for me?
No, like I say, man, I would love this. Keep sending me info. Keep me informed about what you guys are doing. I would love to be attached to it, and I would love my campaign to be attached to it because, again, this is a grassroots campaign. It is all about the little guy, and we are going to continue to amplify the voices of the people that aren't seen as much. I want to use my platform to amplify people such as yourself and the American Small Business League to get these messages out because, again, these are the messages that all of us need to hear, that we're not going to get in mainstream media. We're not going to get these messages in the normal ways we consume media. So it is up to people like myself and yourself, Bruce, and all these other people, grassroots candidates that are running, to make sure we're getting this message across to as many people as possible so they can see the advantages of actually working together as a whole instead of being divided like we are today.
Well said, my friend. I am going to talk to you after we're done recording, but I want to thank you very much for your time, Bernard. And I want to thank everybody for watching and listening today.
Thank you, Bruce.